moving forward without intention or purpose is unrecoverable. Planning to do something, but not acknowledging that there could be an imperfection, a mistake, or something that happens that wasn't planned would be in vain, would be an unsuccessful attempt. Yeah, there can be situations where you did everything right and it still didn't work, but I guarantee you didn't have an intention or a purpose of building habits. The main thing that helps us overcome failure and helps us overcome any moment that was unseen to become is using intention and using purpose. It's that simple. I'm going to set it up for you so you can understand. Let's say I'm planning next week to go on a hike or go on an activity. I'm going to purposely set reminders all around me. Get my bag for the hiking trip, set it in front the way I'm walking, where I'm walking. I'm going to talk about it at work, post it on social media, put notes on my refrigerator. And the purpose would be to have that in my head, to have that in my subconscious. Anything such as an unplanned invitation, anything such as an unforeseen event that was lingering, but we didn't take care of it and now it pops up. Anything like that would not affect you going on that trip or doing that activity, because you had the purpose, which was setting these things around you, and the intention was to remind yourself that you're supposed to go on this activity. So let's just say we don't go on the activity, or we don't get to do that thing we wanted to do. What does that do? Why is it still a successful pattern? Why is this still successful for people that are trying to stop smoking, breaking gambling habits, porn addiction, anything like that? Why is this successful, even though we didn't achieve it? Because anytime you train your mind to continue setting a space, setting a certain boundary within yourself, the next time you try to quit, or the next time you try to go on that activity, or the next time you try to keep yourself from doing something, it'll be much easier and easier and easier. Even everyone knows that quitting something or trying to achieve something isn't overnight, good or bad. It never happens overnight. So without purpose and without intention, we're not the main impact in our lives. We can't simply just replace one habit for the other. We have to interrupt a pattern that's been set. Because anytime you set a pattern of certain things, you set that pattern within yourself. No one else knows about that pattern. No one else influences that. Only suggestions can be given to you by other people. So the main thing is knowing that there could be a failure and intentionally not caring whether you achieve it or not. I know this is very controversial, and some psychologists will say, I'm disagreeing with what you say because this, that, and the third. You have to be supportive of the patient. But in reality, even medicine, psychologists need help. Even medicine isn't 100% effective. So I'm here to say that there's nothing wrong with accepting that it could go wrong. I wrote these three topics, these three segments all on my own, no help from the internet, from personal experience, and I hope you enjoy it. So today's theme is purposeful living and thinking. So one quote from Alexander the Great, which I like a lot, is, "There is nothing impossible to him who will try." And the main thing here is he didn't say to him who succeeds, because the whole point here is, as long as you simply tried, then the whole success event is not impossible. Because as you're trying, you're figuring yourself out, you're figuring what works, what doesn't work. For me, it's recordings. I have recordings on my phone, and it's like hypnosis, because anytime you pair or anchor a certain pattern to a certain behavior, but you anchor that message, or you anchor that hypnotism to fight that, it will create a habit of, whenever you think about that, the first thing that will come to your mind, besides the drug, the addiction, the ex-girlfriend, whatever it is the pattern, is that other hypnosis that you set, is creating a habit within you to get you to snap out of it and snap into something else. That's why, even though I'm Christian, and I know there's Jewish hypnotists, there's Buddhist hypnotists, Hindi hypnotists, but even as a Christian, I'm a strong believer of hypnotism, because it does work and it is possible to fix someone that way. So my first certainty in intention and in positive thinking and in purposeful thinking. The first certainty for sure, there's always an obstacle. There's never not going to be an obstacle. There's never not going to be someone telling you can't do it. There's never not going to be ex-girlfriend bringing herself up out of the past, trying to get you to step back into her lane. There's never going to be that one friend that says you owe him even though he owes you. And, there's never not going to be an obstacle. There's always going to be that thing that tries to stop you right before you reach that point. And then if we're thinking positively, and if we're intentionally thinking positively, because just thinking positively isn't going to work, because you're not intentionally trying to avoid that problem. Thinking positively could just be like, all right, well, I smoke weed and I jerk off every day. There's nothing wrong with that. At least I have a positive mindset. At least no one can hurt my feelings. But you're not going to succeed anything else other than, having a good attitude and feeling good about yourself, even though you're doing something wrong. If you purposely and intentionally place positivity aimed against the problem, aimed against those bad friends, that one thing you want to get rid of, stop smoking weed, if you purposely, intentionally do stuff to not to hurt yourself, but interrupt that pattern, then you will obviously you will stop. You will stop, because you will come to realize that you're hurting yourself and you're wasting your time quicker than just trying to okay, I'm not going to go smoke weed today, and then just sit there and you're still thinking about smoking weed. You have to purposely set things, activities, purposely set conversations with people you normally wouldn't have conversations with, because it will pattern interrupt you. Just like how it works for hypnotism, you will pattern interrupt the bad habit and you'll create a new habit. And the more you do the new things that are doing, they'll become easier. They'll become frontal lobe cortex instead of amygdala. Because amygdala is in the center of your brain. It's emotional. It's like 1, 2. It's like right away. It happens quick. Frontal lobe cortex, it's been there for a while. It stays remnant. So then, the positive thing is, acting without a doubtful mind creates intention of overcoming failure. Let me read it again. Acting without a doubtful mind creates intention of overcoming failure. So how do we anchor positively? How do we anchor that against the negative thing? How do we anchor that fight our negative? Well, we're acting. We're taking actions without a doubtful mind. You can't be skeptical about losing weight and then still lifting weights, because you're going to quit half the time. Then you're going to grab the weights again. Then you're going to quit. And then in the struggle of quitting and starting, you're just going to leave it all at once. Then you're going to eventually create a worse habit. So acting without a doubtful mind creates the intention of knowing you can fail, but the feeling of not being doubtful, the feeling of thinking that you can achieve it, will obviously pull you through. And there's still going to be some type of guilt. You're going to be like, oh, but I've been training this whole time, but I haven't stopped, so I got to keep going. That's a guilt. That's a certain type of guilt, but it's anchored towards a positive way. So that's what I mean with accepting that there can be fails. So then a couple of examples here. Everyone starts with illusions of being, etc., of being famous, being an athlete. Everyone starts with those illusions. B, whether or not you get there overnight, the cost of attempting creates the grounding factor of knowledge. So once you've attempted it, you know that way doesn't work, you try a different way. Then C, if the intention was positive, then the following attempt will be successful. So the point of this first segment is start small but think big. Have an open mind. Don't have a scarce mind. I talked about that in one of my videos. Also, that helps you. Thinking big helps you create new acquaintances, new connections. If you have a scarce mind, you're not going to leave the hood. You're not going to leave those friends that are harming you, even though their intention isn't to harm you. You know how that stuff works. Then the second certainty. Again, I hope you guys like this. This is all from the bottom of my heart. So the second certainty on being purposeful. No one can avoid depression. From personal experience, no one can avoid depression. My parents told me that they've been through that, and they had me when they were 24 and 26. Now I'm 32 years old. So God bless them. You know, do the math. You can tell how old they are. So no one can avoid depression. But if we're being purposeful and living and thinking with intention of succeeding without doubt, having a previous experience, good or bad, and knowing that the outcome was meant to be good is the goal. That's the main goal, not being successful. Success comes after this point. Now we're at a point, if you're watching this video, we're at a point where success is you already succeeded from trying. Now the main goal is to keep going, to keep consistent, is knowing that whether good or bad, the goal was meant on a good intention. The outcome, whether good or bad, was that we meant to achieve success, that we meant to achieve it with good intention. That's the main goal we got to keep in our minds, knowing that we did it without doubting ourselves, because that will create a neuroplasticity in your brain, in your frontal lobe cortex, that is stronger than emotion. So, example number one. One small reason in all of the chaos was the reason we overcame doubt. One small little reason. And you should know what I'm talking about, is knowing that whether the previous experience was good or bad, we meant good. We meant good for ourselves. Just the one little small reason in all the chaos. Then B, another example. We only tune into what we truly desire. Faith or luck never beats desire in the game of achievement. Now, this is really important. This second part is like, let's say, the foundation of overcoming obstacles, acting without failure, grounding factors of knowledge. This part here, because I'm a big believer of not just doing the right thing, but doing what's right for you. It might not be the right thing for someone else. It might not be. Sorry for them. Too bad. But you know that if you're in, let's say, if you're in computer science university courses, but you know you like marketing and fashion, you're not going to do computer science courses just because, even though it gives you more money at the end of the day, all your friends are in it, you'll just make new friends, bro. Your parents aren't gonna pay your bills. Your parents aren't gonna be the one asking your girlfriend to marry you. It's gonna be you. So take the path that you want to take, or you'll be a failure. You're not gonna succeed. Not everyone's meant to have muscles and be a bodybuilder and go to pageants and Mr. Olympia. Some people are meant to have runner bodies. Some people are meant to be slim, sleek, and just athletic. Not everyone takes that path. But overall, there's a place in any path for anyone. There's not just one certain path because you see the one certain person on Instagram take that path. Everyone can be a model these days. Everyone can be a singer thanks to the internet and how things are set up now. There's no excuse to have that doubt in our minds. We have to be intentional in our own lives before someone's intentional enough to suggest what we should do with our lives. So desire, believe it or not, just like doubt and guilt can be used for a positive thing, desire can also be used for a positive thing. The whole theme of this is purposeful living and thinking. We're past that situation where we don't know what to do with our lives. Our frontal cortex hasn't fully developed because we're still below 25 years old. And if you're under 25 and you're watching this video, it still applies to you, because we need to come up. We need to wake up out of that hypnotism, because that's a certain type of hypnotism. You're a zombie. You need to wake up. So desire can be used to succeed. And I know you guys know this even before you were 25, because you've seen Paid in Full, you've seen Indiana Jones, you've seen The Mummy, you've seen The Matrix, you've seen Fast and the Furious, you've seen Triple X. All those movies are based on desire. Breaking the Matrix, leaving the Matrix isn't just about doing right and wrong. It's about the desire of being free. So desire, it's definitely more powerful than faith and luck. Desire is everyone's main emotion, whether you're God, human, animal, whatever it is. So be careful where you place your desires. And then the third segment. I feel like this segment here is probably going to give you what I'm trying to give you. I'm trying to get you guys to understand that you can use anything you got in front of you for a positive message, for a positive outcome. I know certain people will say, oh, but some people are in the trenches. But, bro, I've been there, bro. I've been in the trenches with goons, killers, prostitutes. I've been in the trenches, and I never did anything negative. Not to the ops, not to the police, not to no one's mom. Yeah, there was violent moments in my life, but how do I explain this? My intentions were never to go out and intentionally, purposefully hurt anyone. Me, I'm all about the money. I'm all about succeeding. That's what my desire is at. I put God first, but at the end of the day, you know, even God's going to ask you, did you at least try? Did you at least go for something? Did you at least plant seeds and use the money I gave you, the blessings I gave you, the talents I gave you? So the desire here should be to know that we meant good out of all of this. Because at the end of the day, it can be anyone who goes to jail, but in the back of their mind, they're going to be okay because the system could be the one making the mistake, and they're going to feel good either way they're in that position. So the main thing is being purposefully and intentionally positive in our own lives. Certainty number 3. Plenty of purposes have been served in the past. And I'm going to leave this to mystery to find you. You're going to like this. So, plenty of purposes have been served in the past. I'm going to just leave it there. And then the positive or the positivity action or whatever you want to call it. Knowing we've lost purpose before, but we are still standing here. This shows you there is belief within failure. I'm going to just leave it at that. I'll read it one more time. Knowing we've lost purpose before, but we are still standing here. This shows you there is belief within failure. I shouldn't even have to explain anything else. Like, that should help you understand where I'm going with this. Then 4 examples really quick. A, we've hidden our purposes since youth to self-preserve and didn't know the depth of our powers. And this is coming from me. This is not from ChatGPT, Google. This is coming from inside. This vocabulary is mine. Then B, now having failed, plus knowing there was an intent all along should give you purpose. Try to remember what I said in the previous certainty. Then C, doing things intentionally for the tough part creates emotional productivity. Try to remember what I said. I'm just going to leave it at this. So then D, the last one. When the inevitable happens, a subconscious power will overcome you all on its own. If you do, then the last certainty will definitely be the outcome. And then now from ChatGPT, from the internet. So habits loop override emotional noise. The basal ganglia inside the core of your brain next to the amygdala. A deep brain region controls habits and automated actions. When failure hits, emotions might scream quit, but habits are emotionally neural. They operate when motivation is low or you're mentally exhausted. So if you've trained yourself automatically to reflect after losses, adjust your plan, keep your daily routine going, you can continue processing even when your emotional brain says stop. And then that's why strong habits protect you when willpower is weak. Now I can say what I wanted to say at the beginning of the video. Intentionally do one thing that is going to come up in your mind in the moment of failure. Now you can say, oh, what do you mean? Are you planning to fail? Now you should understand what I'm trying to say. Because the intention, the simple intention of being prepared for that moment is what's going to help you continue. Not get over it, because it's still going to hurt, but you're going to continue. It's only not going to hurt when you're more used to the pain. And that's what I wanted to say. So I'm glad you guys watched this video. Like, comment, subscribe for more. And let me know in the comments what you guys think. Have a good day.